So when we have EU, NATO meetings every month, like we do, when we come together and gather, that's good because we are engaging in strategic partnerships. Whenever China meets with their partners and friends, it's nefarious and evil because they are trying to flex their power. They're trying to intimidate the United States. The childlike and downright evil ideology of these people is insane.
All right, the axis of evil. You probably saw the pictures and the tape and so forth.
The axis of evil. There it is. You guys see the narrative that they've been pumping into white boomers? Let me know if the audio is good as well. Let me know if the audio is good as well, guys. The axis of evil. Xi Jinping and Putin gave speeches like, hey, I wish we have a cooperation together, even with the United States, for the betterment of humanity, fairness for all. And then Larry Kudlow, like, fairness for all, they're the new axis of evil. I laugh at how deranged the ideology of right-wing white America actually is.
All right, the axis of evil. You probably saw the pictures and the tape and so forth. China and North Korea and, of course, Russia. Awfully bad stuff. Joining us is Gordon Chang, Gatestone Institute Senior Fellow, a chap who knows a lot about this.
They love this guy. This guy has been wrong about fucking everything for decades. This man wrote a book in like 2002 describing the fall of China. This man has been predicting the fall of China for 25 fucking years. And he wrote another book around like 2005, 2006-ish. I don't know his fucking biography. Around that time, where he was describing how India will quickly replace China because India is embracing neoliberal capitalism while China is embracing Marxist-Leninism. And that will lead to the downfall of China. And we will quickly see India replace China. Like, bro, this man has been wrong about fucking everything. And he's rewarded for it, bro. You see him everywhere. He's on every single Fox News channel, Fox News, main channel, Fox Business. He'd be on CBS. They're like, hey, we got Gordon Chang to explain to you why fucking Chinese people are evil. Trust him because he kind of Chinese-y, isn't he? He kind of Chinese-y. So trust him when he tell you that Chinese people are evil. This is our strategy that we use. But let's continue.
Gordon, just looking at it, the axis of evil, it looks like a very bad thing. It looks like to some extent they're thumbing their nose at the United States. They're in Shanghai for this meeting and all this fancy Chinese hardware, blah, 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 blah. What are we going to do about it? What does it mean to you that they've done this?
Well, I think Xi Jinping is just trying to show how strong China is. He's doing that primarily for the Chinese people because the Communist Party is insecure. He wants to show that the Communist Party is responsible for the great rejuvenation of China. But the secondary audience is the rest of us.
So when we have EU, NATO meetings every month, like we do, when we come together and gather, that's good because we are engaging in strategic partnerships. Whenever China meets with their partners and friends, it's nefarious and evil because they are trying to flex their power. They're trying to intimidate the United States. The childlike and downright evil ideology of these people is insane.
They're trying to intimidate us into submission, which is why we saw all these nuclear-tipped missiles in this parade, including their new one, the DF-61, which looks like a monster, Larry. But I think that this betrays a weakness because, you know, as that ancient Chinese military strategist Sun Tzu said, when weak, appear strong. And Xi Jinping, for the last 3 or 4 weeks, this Communist Party, this communist media is really going off the charts in terms of trying to intimidate us with their weaponry.
Well, I think
the West engaging in genocide, good. Burning children alive, good. Bombing hospitals, good. Executing journalists like Israel does, good. Military parades, that's where Gordon Chang draws the line. That's where you step into the range of authoritarianism. This is the dominant ideology of white America. This shit is crazy. This is conservative. We are a conservative country. This is the kind of shit that Democrats and Republicans believe. We gotta be China. Don't you know China's doing military drills? I know Israel just engaged in a pager attack that blew children's face off. Israel literally blowing people's face off with pager attacks. Meanwhile, they're like, don't you know that China did a military drill? I'm glad that some of you guys can see the humor in it, like I can, because our society is crazy, man. There are a lot of people. I see people in the chat like, who watches this stuff, guys? Why do you think these polls show that Americans view China as their number one enemy? Like, people pretend that these people don't have influence, but they fucking do. But why do you guys think that it took until now for the American people to turn to Israel? I think people who are independent media hosts, like the David Pakmans, the Kyle Kalinskis, I see independent media people repeat the same shit on MSNBC and CNN all the time. You guys know how I know that? Because I watch our enemy. And I will catch like Emma Vigeland. I will catch Kyle Kalinske. And that's why I caught Dr. Cornel West, for example, in 5D, repeating corporate media talking points about Alexei Navalny. And whenever it happens, Zoya knows. I'm like, wait, what was that, bro? What was that? That was some CNN shit I just heard. Because I know what the enemy says. That's what we need to. We need to know what the neocon agenda, what their talking points are, so we can easily counter it and and clown on it. Show just how much these people are buffoons of the highest order. A true intellectual working class, not a dumb left who repeats their bullshit narratives about how Xi Jinping is a dictator, Vladimir Putin is a tyrant who suppresses the people. And we got military marching the fucking streets. We got military taking over Chicago, taking over Washington, D.C. We got cop cities being built. You got dumb lectures that don't you know, Jared? Xi Jinping is a tyrant. They're the dumb left, and I exist to destroy these people. So I know this kind of propaganda is obvious to some of us, but you never know who's new and who's watching, who is somewhat persuaded by this shit. Here's another insane headline that we saw. Because I took it upon myself, and people who follow me on X for years now. People who follow my channel for years know, as the United States leftist and anti-imperialist, I unapologetically believe that we need to stand in solidarity with the DPRK in North Korea, who is one of the greatest anti-imperialist victories that we have seen in the modern era, who stood in other anti-imperial struggles like in South Africa and Palestine. So remember, I was on this years ago, and then that was one of the things where a lot of Bernie left like, hey, Nick, bro, you're not supposed to support North Korea, bro. Hey, man, we're not supposed to touch that, bro. Don't you know that they're an evil authoritarian state, bro? Like, you don't understand the kind of pressures that you face when you have a platform. And there are a lot of people on the left, especially the DSA left, the anarchist left. They're like, I don't trust Nick. He's a dirty tanky. He defends the DPRK. Even though the DPRK has literally done nothing wrong. Provide free housing to their people, have clean cities, and they do the best that they can to provide for their people despite global sanctions and economic blockade of their people. And this is after them achieving a fantastic victory against Western imperialism, where they lost over 2 million people that was killed by United States imperialism, that meddled and violated the sovereignty of the Korean people. Right when North Korea was about to win the war and take over the entire peninsula, the West invaded their country and slaughtered millions of their people. Meanwhile, dumb people in the United States believe that Kim Jong-un is evil because he has the audacity to create a nuclear arsenal and build a state that is able to defend itself against the West. How dare he? How dare he learn from the mistakes of other leaders who demilitarized and then was taken out by the West? So he realized, like, hey man, we need to have something we call Jusei ideology. We're gonna have a militarized Marxist-Leninist society because we need a militarized Marxist-Leninist society to survive the nonstop barrage of imperialism that wants to punish us for the success of our revolution. So you have the dumb left, the anarchists, the Trotskyists, and the people who are useful idiots for the empire in a lot of ways. They will say stuff like, we can't trust North Korea because we can have a militarized version of socialism. Don't you know that Kim Jong-un is an authoritarian? Because he doesn't allow the CIA to infiltrate his country and spread information warfare against his people? I had DPRK power hours. You guys see my rants. My thesis have always been that if you're an anti-imperialist, you need to stand in solidarity with the DPRK, who's been under assault by the empire that we pay taxes to, who does unequivocally a better job at providing for their working class, despite all the handicaps that they face, versus the skid rows that we have, the medical debt that we have. We have something called student lunch debt in this country, where children, they bring their family into debt because they can't afford the lunch that their school provides them. So we have children that goes in debt because they can't afford their lunch. Meanwhile, Americans believe that Kim Jong-un is your enemy. Quick question, by the way. Why is it okay for the UK to have a monarch and figurehead, but not North Korea? Because I learned this recently, listened to one of our Korean brothers and sisters who JB interviewed. Kim Jong-un is more of like a monarch figure. He engages in foreign diplomacy, but they actually have a parliament where they have to pass bills. They are a functioning democracy. I should say republic. I think republic is more accurate. So there are people who believe that Kim Jong-un is like this dictator, for example, who caused all the shots, but he actually has to go to parliament to get a lot of things passed and approved. So he's more of a monarch figurehead position. That's because of the Korean people, the true Korean people, the North Korean people love and admire the Kim family because of their success, freeing their society from U.S. imperialism. They know what his father has done. They know what his grandfather has done. So they admire the Kim family. They are royalty because of their revolutionary success. So that's why he has his position as a figurehead, but they have a parliament and a republic where they actually pass laws. These are things that I learned over the last few years. I'm learning new stuff about North Korea every single fucking day because Americans need to realize that every single goddamn thing that was told about North Korea is bullshit. You understand? Are they perfect? Quick question. How do you perfectly navigate a complete economic blockade by the West against your people? What other country, what is the historical precedent of a country successfully economically managing and navigating this? Kim Jong-un and his family and the government of North Korea, and the same with Venezuela and a lot of other countries as well, they had to navigate a minefield that no other leader in human history ever had to navigate. And then Western left is like, don't you know that North Korea is responsible for mismanagement? Fuck you. The economic war that has been waged against these people? Despite that, they still they can provide housing to their people. They provide healthcare to their people. They provide the best they can, despite the economic situation they've been put in by the West in retaliation of them defeating Western imperialism. All right, so let me actually get to the headline. I can rant about North Korea all day. If you're a principal communist and anti-imperialist, you have to know this stuff, guys. You have to. There was a time where I was very liberal-minded as well. I didn't know that much about North Korea. Like, you got to know how to defeat these neocons on these issues. Because this is what the neocons are saying, because they are smearing Kim Jong-un. They are very upset at what they call diplomatic wins. Look at this. I probably shouldn't spoil that headline, damn. I probably should show this one first. Kim Jong-un leaves Beijing with big diplomatic wins. And whenever people talk about an evil that their country commits, like you hear liberals say this all the time, it's the most racist shit. And it's one of the things that they say, I hate liberals. This is why I hate liberals. They will see Donald Trump do some evil shit like the poor people. Like they'll have children in cages. And then the racist white liberal will turn around like, I cannot believe this is America. This is not who we are. Who do you think we are? North Korea? Bro, you will hear people like Bernie Sanders and they say this shit all the time. Donald Trump is turning us to a Stalinist society. Like people have no idea the anti-communism in the left, in the West is so strong. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. People do this all the time. Oh my God! Look at all the people in prison in the United States. Look at the homeless population in the United States. This is America. What are we? North Korea? No, this is the United States. Whenever they have real criticism of capitalism, they always project North Korea. And my question to people, what have North Korea done to deserve this ire from people from the West? I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I'll show you guys the poll countless times where around 1/3 of Americans said they believe we should just nuke North Korea. Like Americans have a violent hatred of the North Korean people. Like even among the left. What genocides have Kim Jong-un, what genocides have he been guilty of? What country has he been bombing? What sanctions have he imposed on the working class? Meanwhile, if you listen to right-wing podcasts, if you listen to the white manosphere or bootlickers, who I don't trust the CIA, but I believe everything the CIA says about countries the United States don't like. You know, those people. Yes, go. Yeah. Do you see that? I didn't find that headline from Bernie. I didn't get a chance to cover it. Stalinist. I saw there a lot of Donald Trump is turning us to a Stalinist society. Oh, here it is. Look at this. Look at this shit lib. Bernie Sanders accuses Republicans of Stalinism. Bro, they hate social democrats and democratic socialists hate communists more than they hate fascists. I'm telling you. I told you I was very dumb when I was a social democrat as well, because I used to. You guys know I was a believer in Bernie Sanders. If I had the Marxist knowledge that I have now, there's no way I would have touched Bernie Sanders with a 15-foot pole, because I told you I have friends who don't call themselves communists. You know, I love my brother Nico House. He doesn't call himself a communist, but there's no one I love. Like Nico's my homie. I love fucking Nico House. You guys know I love Sarah. They don't call themselves communists. You don't have to call yourself a communist for me to be friends with you. That would be absurd in a country where a lot of people are still iffy about that. Where I do draw the line, though, is I don't have interest at all with engaging with anti-communists, because anti-communism is probably one of the most violent, barbaric ideologies of the modern era, which is responsible for the deaths of tens of millions of people in the modern era. It's the belief that you need government-sanctioned class warfare against the masses whenever they rise against the elites. It's a level of elitism that transcends what you would call even normal neoliberal capitalism. Even though I guess on second thought, you can say it's a symptom of what it means to be a neoliberal capitalist. But to me, I always draw anti-communism as a red line, because do you understand the consequences from the global working class that anti-communism has wrought? Meanwhile, Bernie Sanders and these old school fucking leftist hippies, the same people who support NATO and the genocidal agenda of the West, they can't stand the USSR. They buy into all this Cold War narrative. Remember, it was Bernie Sanders who called Nicolas Maduro a tyrant.